Super Monkey Ball, a game I feel goes under the radar. It has its fair share of single player content. Depending who you are, it can be annoying at times. However, this game as well provides some amazing multiplayer content. Minigames you will often find yourself playing for a good hour or two. Now for this video, I'm only going to be focusing on the second game. I know there's a game prior to this, but I'd figure it'd be best to cover the second game instead, as there's more inside the second game. Last but not least, this is all opinion based. If there's a minigame you don't like in here, that's okay. Just don't get your pitchforks out ready to riot, because it ain't changing my opinion. Without further ado, here are my 5 most fun Super Monkey Ball 2 minigames. If you ever wanted to release out any anger, but you don't have the strength to pull it off, I'd suggest Monkey Fight 2. This is one of the easiest games to understand. Basically, you just need to know that you'll be using the A and B buttons to go after the opposition. In Monkey Fight 2, you have the chance to play through all the maps within a single fight, changing up the scenery if you really wanted to. It's pretty basic to say the least, and you don't have any amazing power-ups per se to make the minigame more interesting. What you do have instead is different characters to provide you with different skill sets. In this case, Gongon is the character you'd more likely want to use for this. However, it's still possible to play with the other characters and still have fun. Maybe this isn't the game you'll find yourself playing for 55 hours, but you can definitely have a good 30 minutes playing this game. Especially considering this game isn't exactly slow paced, so things will go by quicker. Here we have Monkey Tennis, Monkeys and Tennis. How exactly can this be any fun? Well, it's easy to get the gist of this game. That's something you're going to like when playing a minigame. You do have antics in this game to not only troll, but as well get an advantage over your opposition. It's not as great compared to another minigame that I will mention later, but it's fine for this minigame. Time-wise, this can feel a little bit long to play through, but there's some balance by making the games feel intense throughout the rounds. Every time I played this game, there's that intensity where the scoreline is close and you're hanging on for dear life. One thing I will say is having a computer player on your side can be a little bit overpowered, especially if you're new to this game. If you're new to this game, they can do some that will honestly gain you points in the end. I understand if this isn't Mario Tennis where you have power-ups of some sort, but this game remains fun to play. Monkey Target 2. I have to admit, this game does take a while for you to adjust. You won't get it down on the first try very often, but after you got a grasp of the game, you then begin to have a little more fun. Monkey Target gives you 1 or 2 monkeys depending on which option you pick, and you send them off flying into the sky 7 billion miles away from the original spawn point in the hopes you land onto a target. Depending on the target, you'll be awarded a number of points. You either make the target, or the monkeys will more likely drown, or just die. The game plays well whether you're playing by yourself or you're playing with someone else. The levels do get more trickier the more you progress, so you're going to want to get them early points before someone decides to catch up to you in the end. Monkey Target is a fun minigame to fill some time. I wouldn't say I'd play this game for an entire hour, but at least 30 minutes for me is fine. Monkey Baseball 2. This is one of the longer games on this list, but you have some antics that you can do to make the game a bit more interesting. For starters, you can control the pace of how fast the ball arrives to the opposition. It does sound annoying at first when you're playing with somebody, but the thing is, you can screw your opponent as well with this trick. It doesn't get any easier, especially when before you bat, the game can give you obstacles to keep in mind. It does this every round, so this keeps the minigame refreshing and it isn't highly repetitive. Unlike most of the other minigames, you can play a little more tactical in this game. One moment you'll be getting 3 or 4 home runs in one go. Next time around, you may not get lucky and perhaps get no home runs, making it extremely possible for you to come back into the game. Just a little bonus, but I find it cute seeing the monkeys just waving their hands as they're running for a home run. Very nice touch from them. Number 1 is Monkey Soccer. So, how is this game any fun, you may be asking? First off, simple controls. Kind of. You will find yourself spamming all different buttons to see what works and what doesn't, but you can still get away with it to an extent. This game brings variety in which you can have one-off match or even competitive knockout tournaments. I find this really fun to play when you have another person to play with. It just makes it for not only more chaotic gameplay, but as well as fun experience. The game is intense and you do find yourself in situations where you can come back to the game while being behind. This is as well a game where you decide how long it goes. If you want to make a short, quick game with a limited scoreline, you can do that. If you want a long session, you can also do that too. I just find myself coming back to this game frequently and have Monkey Soccer as my favorite Super Monkey Ball 2 minigame.